everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about a couple of things. One being something called a Dutch test, and it's done by Precision Analytical, and they are a company based out of America, and what they do is basically test specific hormones, and it's really good for someone who has PCOS because you're able to identify exactly which hormones you're lacking in or have too much of, and from there on, doctors or naturopaths or homeopaths, whoever you go to see, can actually get a better gauge of where your hormones lay and how to cure those specific hormones. Secondly, I have really great news. I actually got my period back. Yes! So I got it back last month, so I've had it 2 times now, and I didn't want to say anything last video because I wasn't sure if it was just like a one-off thing, and I am positive that it is down to my lifestyle and supplements that I'm using. Last time I went off the pill, I didn't ever get my period back, so I went 2.5 years without getting my period at all. This time I've been off the pill for 1 month and I got the period back a month and a half later. So, and the only thing that's changed is supplements that I'm using and my lifestyle habits. So I will talk about those 2 things. So let's go. First, you have to put your test results in like a really nice folder. Am I right? So this is, I'm gonna hide my address, but this is the company there, and it's called Dutch and Precision, or Dutch Test, sorry, and it's done by Precision Analytical. I'm pretty sure you can send this out and request a package. I got mine from my naturopath, who I'll link below if you're in the Vancouver area. She is fantastic and a star. So, but I'm pretty sure you can actually order this from the Precision website, and they send the kit out to you, and then you can do it at home and then send it back. It is really pricey. So how this kit works, it's 300 Canadian, I think it was 250 US. So I saved for like 3 months for it. Like, I didn't just buy it outright, I kind of put money aside. To me, it was really important because I knew that I was low in some hormones. I knew that I was high, but we didn't know specifically what hormones. We just knew that my hormones weren't normal. They weren't showing up normal. What's really cool about the Dutch test is that it does what a blood test cannot do. How it works is you get pieces of paper. There's 5 little pieces of paper, and on them you do a urine test 5 times a day. So you do one when you wake up, 2 hours later, before dinner, before bed, and then if you wake up in the middle of the night. And you pee on these little strips, you let them dry, you put them in these like little baggies that they give you, and then you put it in the package, and they have like included postage and mailing, all that good stuff, and you send it right to Precision. Because they measure your urine throughout the day, you're actually able to see how your hormones fluctuate throughout the day, which is quite different to a blood test, which is usually a fasting blood test. They take in the morning. Whatever your hormones are that morning, that's what the gauge is, that's what they base it on. This is different. This actually shows you how your hormones change throughout the day, which is really, really cool. Now, initially I was a little bit apprehensive about this test because I'm like, that's $300. Like, that's a lot of money. That's like groceries, that's like rent, that's a lot of stuff. But I do not regret taking this test at all, and I really, 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 truly recommend it if you're having hormonal problems. So it measures a lot of stuff. I'm going to go through it with you to show you if you have PCOS. Yours might look quite similar, quite along the same lines, but it just shows you how different our hormones really are compared to that of a healthy woman. So it looks like this. And right here, it shows you how they measure things, and they basically make it really easy for you to basically follow along. They put it in common terms for us to understand better. So everything is measured on a scale that looks like this. And if you're on that star, there's a little star there. If you're on the star, it means that's a low limit, and the other star is a high limit, so healthy range would be the in-between. They measure your estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone. So my estrogen is below the star. It's below low range. So I am the lowest you can go for estrogen in a healthy female my age is 35, and I'm at 34. So my estrogen count is really low. Then my progesterone, which I thought was crazy, the lowest you can go for healthy progesterone is 6.0, and I'm at a 1.5. So it says that my progesterone is the equivalent to someone who is postmenopausal. So that would explain a lot of things. I often get a lot of like hot flashes throughout the day. Sometimes I get really just really hot throughout the day, and then I get really cold, or I get really lightheaded. I get really tired. These could all be symptoms of like postmenopausal symptoms, even though I'm not menopaused. Even though I'm not going through menopause, I still obviously have those symptoms because of my estrogen and my progesterone levels. My testosterone, though, is at a healthy range. So the lowest you can go is 2.3, the highest is 14.0, and I'm sitting at a 7.3. So that one's good. So of the 3 biggest sex hormones, just 2 I'm lacking in. Now, it also measures your adrenal hormones. And this was really interesting for me as well. So it tells you for your age range what a healthy cortisol level should be, your free cortisol levels, and mine show that, if you can see that, that is like the highest limit. And so high range limit is that there. Mine says patient values. So when I wake up in the morning, it's quite already high. So I wake up around 5:30 a.m. So my cortisol level is on a scale quite already high. And it goes up higher, and then that little dot there, that's my second urine test. So by 7 a.m. my cortisol level has risen quite a bit. Then what is very interesting, especially to me, is that third mark there, that's my third test. So that's before dinner. Look how low my cortisol dropped. So it went quite high AM, and it went right down below PM, and then it kept dropping all the way till bedtime. Now, what's interesting to me is I'm super anxious in the morning, like really anxious, nervous, a lot of anxiety, and a lot of energy. And then always around lunchtime, and I told my naturopath this, always around lunchtime, and this was before the test was taken, I crash to the point where like I cannot keep my eyes open after lunch. So I have a cup of coffee, I have something, but even that sometimes, it's like if someone said take a nap right now, I'd be able to do it. Like I have to sometimes do this because I cannot, for the life of me, keep my eyes open because I am so exhausted around 1 o'clock p.m. So it's interesting then when I get this back, it actually shows me that my stress has gone, my cortisol levels have dropped so low, and that explains that crash. Now, this is why this test is really cool. So now that my naturopath has seen that, she has prescribed me some adrenal supplements to take in the afternoon to prevent this crash from happening. So I'm gonna start those when they come in. I've ordered them. I'll let you know how those go. And she's also prescribed me Vitex, and Vitex takes care of progesterone. There's 2 routes naturally to take care of progesterone if you're low in progesterone. So route 1 is taking natural supplements that are hormone therapies. So they actually replace your progesterone. So there's that supplement. You're basically giving your body natural progesterone. That one's called progesterone therapy. 1. 2, you can use something like Vitex, which basically tries to make your own body produce progesterone. My naturopath said because I'm so young, she'd rather go the Vitex route first, see if that helps my body promote its own progesterone and produce its own progesterone first. Try it out for a few months, half a year. If nothing improves, then go to hormone therapy. Again, I'd rather use the natural hormone therapy than the fake stuff. So that's really cool. It also measures your DHEA production, and so androgen glands and your cortisol productions. So mine's on the really high range. So if you see that star, that's where mine is. So like right on the tip of being unhealthy. And the other two are fine. So my free cortisol is fine, and my metabolized cortisol is also fine, on the lowish range, but still fine. So that's the first page of that. So this page basically breaks down those main sex hormones, your progesterone, your estrogen, and your testosterone, into smaller compounds. So you have 2 streams of main progesterone, you have another few streams of testosterone, and you have 3 main streams of estrogen. You have estrogen E1, E2, and E3. This is really important because depending on how your body metabolizes your estrogen, it can affect your DNA bind. And if your body chooses a specific one to metabolize with, then it actually can damage your DNA bind, which is not good and becomes toxic, right? My estrogen is favoring the E1. Where is it? E1. Because it's favoring E1 at 6.45, my DNA strand is not being damaged right now. It's not becoming toxic. If your body chooses to metabolize your estrogen going the E3 route, that's when it says, if not detoxified, it can bind to and damage your DNA. So your estrogen can actually bind to your DNA and damage it. So that's also like a really cool thing about this test, right? Like you get these results back and you can look, okay, my body is choosing to metabolize my estrogen in a really detrimental way. Like what can I do about it, right? Okay, then on the next page, it breaks down everything for you. And it has like all of your hormones and what you're low in, what you're high in, what you're okay in. So with me, I am with my estradiol E2, so a type of estrogen, I'm below the range. I'm also below the range in estriol E3, so again, another estrogen strand. 2 other forms of estrogen I'm also low in, and then both of my progesterones, my androgens, I'm within range. And she also said that based off my testosterone, there's also different ways, again, you can see in your own test, that your testosterone is metabolized. If you're someone with PCOS, your testosterone can metabolize and your androgens to give you more of those symptoms that come along with PCOS, such as like facial hair growth, acne, weight gain. That's based off of your testosterone and how it's metabolized. For me, my testosterone chose to metabolize another way, in another strand. That's why I don't have many of those other symptoms. Like I do get hair loss, and I do get some like hair growth, like a little bit under here and on my stomach, but not dramatically. I have friends who have like a lot of hair growth, and that's probably because their body is favoring the other route of testosterone being metabolized. Can you change the way that your testosterone is being metabolized? I actually have no idea. That's something that you and your naturopath can talk about when you get your results back, based off how your testosterone is going. A couple of my androgens are above range, right? So these are all things that we knew with PCOS. We knew that androgens were higher, testosterone might be higher, you might be low in your female hormones, but it's nice to see specifically which ones and by how much. They give you a whole breakdown, which I'm not going to go through because I don't think you care, but they give you a whole breakdown in words, like word for word, exactly what your test results mean and how you can help them, right? So I really recommend taking that test. I think because of it, my naturopath was able to see specifically which hormones I needed help with, which hormones she didn't have to touch, which hormones can be tweaked or bettered. So I think it's great. There's no blood test that can do that exact same thing. And especially if you have PCOS, I think if you're treating it naturally, if you're taking birth control, then I don't think it's necessary because A, you can't take birth control and take that because that'll skew the results. B, if you're taking birth control, that is your remedy. So you don't need those, that birth control is filling in those hormonal gaps. However, if you're treating it naturally, you have to fill those hormonal gaps by yourself, which is where this test comes into play. So I will link Precision Analytical below, and let me know if you've done it or if you're going to do it. If you have any other questions, that would be fantastic. I'll try and answer them as best as I can. If you like my videos, please don't forget to subscribe and give it a thumbs up because it really helps support my channel, and I will see you in the next video.